Hello, my beautiful Gong family from the Shift Network and Martha Colors class. My name is Gino Castillo and I'm here to share with you from my studio some ideas on how to record your gongs and your sound healing instruments. So why am I doing this and how do I know how to do this? And that's because the last 25 years I have been a professional musician, sound engineer, and producer of 90% of my records. And actually right now, in this studio that is divided in two, this is the sound healing part and the other side is my recording studio. I'm working on finishing 4 albums that I'm releasing this next year. So I want to share with you some ideas on how to improve your recordings, how to know the best equipment and the most affordable for the quality. And let's get started. What equipment do I need for this? First of all, you need a computer. If you're going to be going around doing this, you need a laptop for sure. And I will explain everything on Mac because I have been using this system for the last 25 years, but I will give you always at least one option for a Windows user, okay? 2, recording software. So what is a recording software? It's the actual recording studio that is coming inside in an app in your computer. Well, you need to buy one. If you're a Mac user, Mac used to give away, I'm not sure if they still giving away, or they charge you $1 or $5 for that software, which is nothing. It is called GarageBand. The GarageBand, it's perfect software for what we need to do. Also, you can get for Mac Logic, which is a professional software. I have that, that's the one I use, but it's like a super large version of a GarageBand. And then you can use Reaper 64, Cubase, or Pro Tools. Reaper 64 is a platform that you download from the internet and is $60-something and works in Mac and PC and is great. Cubase is another software that works in Mac and PC and is great. And Pro Tools and Logic, they are both the standard of the industry, but they are expensive. So if you're gonna use this only for this, you should be okay with GarageBand, with Reaper 64, or with Cubase. It's a little bit more expensive, but also a great software. Number 3, interface. What is an interface? An interface is a hardware equipment to convert analogical signal into digital. That means to convert sound waves or bubbles, as John Stuart Reid said, into zeros and ones, so your computer can read it. An interface and a mixer are not the same. An interface have a little mixer included, but it's not a mixer, and a mixer doesn't have an interface. Some modern mixers include a little interface into the equipment so you can use it as an interface and a mixer, but most of mixers, they are not having an interface, so you will have to have an interface. And if you have an interface with 2 or more channels, you don't need a mixer because the mixer is included. Now I'm going to put some pictures of models and prices on interfaces, and I will make a note there on which one is the one that I prefer and why. This is actually a really good deal because you can have a condenser microphone and headphones. Microphones and accessories for the mics. Before we get to the microphones, I want to get to the accessories because cables and mic stands are very important. The mic stands, you can buy super cheap ones, but will create a problem very soon because they start to make some noises. So they are cheap, yes. They are light, yes. But then if you use them for a few times, all those bolts and screws start to fall apart and you start to have noise, and then you start to screw a lot harder and it's going to break at a point. Sometimes you cannot use it, so you have to replace it very often. So I will recommend to have a very sturdy mic stands. The brand that I recommend is K&M. That's the one that I use, but also it's another brand called Gator that they make really good microphone stands. And always buy a boom stand, because you don't want to be in the position that you need to reach another gong or another instrument, and you have those straight mic stands that won't work at all for us. With cables, we have exactly the same problem. You can find cheap cables, but in no time it's gonna start making noise, and then it's gonna ruin your live streaming or your recording. So I would recommend to get Live Wire. That's the brand that I use. And I have been using those for none less than 10, 12 years. And I have replaced 3 of them in the last 10, 12 years. And I like them because they have a lifetime warranty. So if one cable starts to making some noise, you just bring it to the store and they will give you one back for free. You can use, depend of the kind of event, 2 different kind of mics: condenser microphones or dynamic microphones. What is the difference between a condenser microphone or a dynamic microphone? I can get super nerdy and tell you that the condenser microphone sound vibrate and the diaphragm with a magnetic plate that is behind, and when this happens it creates a boost of voltage. Or I can tell you that the dynamic microphones use electromagnetism, but that can get pretty boring and it's not worth it at this moment. Like, we need to know what to use and how to use it. The practical way to explain this will be that the condenser mics will need 48 volts electrical power to work. That's called phantom power, and most of interfaces will have a little switch to turn that on. Also, the condenser mics are more delicate, like way more delicate. I ruined one of mine, just dropped 1 foot on the floor and never worked again. So you need to be very careful with the with the condenser microphones. Condenser microphones usually are more expensive, but they will pick up the best quality of the sound, and because they will pick up all the harmonics of your gongs, but also the fact that they will pick up more harmonics on the gongs will pick up more noise on the room. So you need to be aware of that. If you're trying to do a recording or a live streaming in a noisy environment where cars are driving around or dogs are barking or some other noise are around, those microphones can be a problem because they will pick up every single noise. But if we are doing a gong bath session, we don't want to have any noise environment around. So for the session could be a problem too. But in the case that you are having that problem and you need to mic your instruments, then you will have to use a dynamic microphone, which is shorter diaphragm. What that means that the condenser microphone have a big diaphragm that will pick up the whole sound with the best quality on the room, and the dynamic microphone will use a shorter diaphragm that will pick up the sound more direct to the instrument, and that will help you to save some of the noise. Dynamic microphones don't use an external source of power, and they are very sturdy and durable. You can have them for 10, 20. I know people that have the same microphones for 40 years. They are all beat up and still sound great. I will recommend with my eyes covered Shure SM57, Shure SM58. The 58 have a little bit bigger diaphragm. What would I recommend on a condenser microphones? I put here some pictures and prices of some mics with my to-go choice. So the microphone that I use that is my favorite is the condenser Sterling, is discontinued, and I use the other one, the KSM, and you can see here the different prices, and the Liquid LCT is an amazing microphone for that price, so yeah, I will go with that one. And now we got to the point of the iPhone. As Martha Kohler said on the class, she recommends to use the iPhone. And why is that? Because Apple, and I believe other brands have the same quality, but Apple, they trick digitally their microphones, and they emulate a very high quality condenser microphone. All the video that I've been doing until here has been done with the microphone on the iPhone. And so if you want to save money and time, you can use the iPhone, and you just place the phone and start recording. It will have the same problem with the environment that an expensive microphone, condenser microphone. You know, a fun fact about that is that after I came back from New York to Charleston, that is where I live, taking my class with my training with Martha on Flumies, I was practicing a lot, trying to get the most beautiful sounds out of the gongs with the Flumies. And when I thought that I had something nice, I just want to share it. And I took a video with my iPhone, more than one, like maybe 3 or 4, and I shared those videos. And people were asking me what kind of setup I had on my microphones, and which software and which microphone I was using. And I was using just the iPhone. So now we're gonna get to the field, and I'm gonna set up here in my studio a session to do a recording, and I will guide you step by step and how to set up, how to put the microphones. We're gonna record some gong, and then we're gonna see the difference with some of the microphones. Now that we are on this side of the studio, let's set up a session. This is the interface that I use. It's an M Audio that have 8 channels, but it basically works the same as you're gonna use. So once that you have set up that interface with your computer through the USB cable, we just need to plug in the microphones, and then we go to the screen to set up the session. So now you're gonna plug in your microphones, one here, another here. You just set your volume in half, and then put the phantom power for your condensing microphones, because if that is not on, it won't get any sound. So if you have 1, 2, or 3, or 4 microphones, you do the same for each microphone, and then we set up our session. So this is my microphone bag, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use today. You have here. And this one. So we're gonna use today these microphones. We have here Behringer condenser short diaphragm, KSM from Shure condenser, Sterling Audio condenser, my favorite, Shure SM57 dynamic super short diaphragm, and Shure Beta 58. It's actually a little bit bigger than the regular 58. Now you need to select and open your software and or your laptop. In my case is Logic. Then you're gonna open a project and create a project, and then start selecting the tracks. Open the tracks, and then you need to assign the channel that you're gonna put the input. So in this case, I'm gonna do input 1, then you create another channel. Input 2, if you have more channels, you can keep creating the channels as much as the software let you. And this is the layout that Logic has, and GarageBand have a very similar layout, but I'm pretty sure all the softwares that you choose will have a different ways, but the basic pattern is the same. So now you need to label the channels with the microphone you are using so you know exactly which channel is which microphone. Then, of course, you need to save the project and give a name for it. And there you go, you have a session ready to go. You're going to do a little sound check first, and then you can start your recording or live streaming. What do you need to see in the sound check? You need to check the levels of your volume. You need to check that the graphic is correct, that it's not too thick, it's not too thin. If it's too thin, that means you can barely hear it. And if it's too thick, that means you're going to saturate and going to have distortion. And that's basically, you need to make sure that all the levels are corrected before you start your recording. Now I'm going to play a little bit for you so you can hear, and then we're going to compare all the microphones on the back. Sterling condenser. Shure KSM. Behringer condenser small diaphragm. Shure Beta 58. Shure SM57. Now, just because I love to experiment, I would like to move the microphones to the side front. This is the way that usually we record cymbals and a drum set, and because this is a huge cymbal, I just want to try it. And also I'm going to try it with one flumi to see how it goes. Shure KSM, Sterling condenser, Behringer small diaphragm. Okay, I forgot to use the flumi before, so I'm going to use it now, and then we can compare. I really hope that that was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and let's keep playing the gongs.